Hi there, Keith here, and I'm going to take you through my reaction of the 2015 Oscar nominations. Nominations came out this morning. If this is a true reaction blog, you would have seen me in front of my computer watching CBS this morning going, but no. Instead, you have me here, and I'm going to go take you through the major nominees and my thoughts, who deserved to be nominated and who got snubbed. For sake of time, I'm just going to be doing the main acting awards as well as picture and director. And you're going to want to check back with me in the next few weeks because I'll have a full Oscar blog as well. Also on the WittyWhittier.com website, I will have an updated 2015 Oscar section where I will have the reviews for all of the top movies in that compiled in that one area, as well as my picks. So if you're in an Oscar pool, you're going to want to check back. I'm going to do everything I can to help you win it. All right, let's start off, shall we, with Best Director. Your nominees are, and forgive me for reading, I haven't committed this to memory yet, but your nominees are Alexander Iñárritu for Birdman, Richard Linklater for Boyhood, Bennett Miller for Foxcatcher, Wes Anderson for The Grand Budapest Hotel, and Morton Tilden for The Imitation Game. So right off, I want to say that I don't understand why Foxcatcher and The Imitation Game were nominated for Best Director. Saw both movies. I think they were decent movies. I don't necessarily think there was anything about the direction of those movies that really stand out to me. And to me, those are just nominations where I'm scratching my head. Ava DuVernay for Selma was completely robbed. It was one of the best movies of this Oscar season. It's the only movie that has a 99% rating on Rotten Tomatoes right now, and I know I'm not usually a huge fan of Rotten Tomatoes, but I know a lot of people buy into it. But the thing is that the point is that it's been critically reviewed so well, and the fact that it's been pretty much snubbed in so many major categories boggles my mind. Clint Eastwood could have deserved a nomination for American Sniper. Christopher Nolan for Interstellar. If we can give, not we, but if the Academy can give an Oscar to Alfonso Cuarón for basically playing around with CGI, I don't know how Christopher Nolan doesn't get a nomination for everything he put together in Interstellar. And David Fincher, such a fantastic job in Gone Girl. I mean, as I go into this, listen, you can nominate people, then the question will be, well, this person was snubbed. Then you can nominate those people, and then it's those people were snubbed. But at the end of the day, I can look at Iñárritu for Birdman and Linklater for Boyhood and say, hey, these are phenomenal directing jobs. Wes Anderson, yeah, he's a bit of a quirky filmmaker, but a lot of different integral pieces put together. I will never understand how Foxcatcher and The Imitation Game made this list, because there was nothing about those movies that stood out and made me want to go out and talk to people about them. So huge robbery to start off this list here tonight. Looking at Best Supporting Actress, your nominees are Patricia Arquette for Boyhood, Laura Dern for Wild, Keira Knightley for The Imitation Game, Emma Stone for Birdman, and Meryl Streep for Into the Woods. Pretty much the way we thought the category would go. Some people are saying Jessica Chastain for A Most Violent Year got snubbed. Haven't seen that movie yet, as it hasn't been released here in Ottawa. Early on, I think that Patricia Arquette is your favorite to win this award. She was very much the glue of Boyhood that helped keep that movie together, and I think she did a fantastic job with her role. Sorry, backtracking just a little bit, but Richard Linklater, I think, is most likely going to take Best Director. But again, it's early, and come back from my full predictions, and I might have changed my mind. You never know. Best Supporting Actor, you have got yes, Robert Duvall for The Judge, Ethan Hawke for Boyhood. You've got Edward Norton for Birdman, Mark Ruffalo for Foxcatcher, and J.K. Simmons for Whiplash. Unless something goes completely wrong, J.K. Simmons will win this award. And if he doesn't win this award, hug your loved ones, tell them they mean the world to you, because it means the end of the world is near. There were such fantastic performances in this category. Robert Duvall, of course, is the stubborn judge in The Judge. Ethan Hawke, fantastic role in Boyhood. Edward Norton's always great. Mark Ruffalo, I think, was good in Foxcatcher. I think Channing Tatum deserves a lot more recognition than what he's getting, because I think he did a fantastic job in this. But J.K. Simmons was absolutely mesmerizing and terrorizing in Whiplash. He was basically the music teacher you hope your kids never go to, but it was the performance that you never wanted to stop watching. He was absolutely fantastic, and again, if he doesn't win the Oscar for this role, something has gone completely wrong. Moving into the lead actor and actress categories, we'll start with lead actress. Your nominees are Marion Cotillard for 2 Days, One Night, Felicity Jones for The Theory of Everything, Rosamund Pike for Gone Girl, Julianne Moore for Still Alice, and Reese Witherspoon for Wild. An eclectic group of roles here. When you're talking about snubs, some people are saying Jennifer Aniston for Cake. Again, haven't seen it, hasn't hit Ottawa yet. Amy Adams for Big Eyes is another one they're saying. The thing is that Amy Adams won the Golden Globe, and a lot of people are saying, well, she won the Golden Globe, she should at least be nominated. Keep in mind, the Golden Globes aren't necessarily the best precursor for the Oscars. You want to look more towards like Screen Actors Guild and things of that nature. I'm surprised that Amy Adams wasn't nominated, but I'll be honest, out of all of the categories, I haven't seen 3 of these movies, being Still Alice, Theory of Everything, and 2 Days, One Night. So I can't say for sure. I think she did a fantastic job in the movie. My sentimental pick for this would be Rosamund Pike. I think she absolutely knocked it out of the park. I haven't seen Still Alice yet, so I'll have to wait until I see that, and then I'll be able to do a full review and decision-making process on who I think should win and who probably will win. Right now, who will most likely win is Julianne Moore, because there's so much momentum behind her right now, but you never know. Anytime I look at the best actress category or supporting actress category, I always shake my head a little bit, because I like watching the Oscars, not necessarily for who wins or what have you. I just like the award show. I like the opening monologue. I like the awards, but I also take it with a bit of a grain of salt, because I realize my favorite movies don't always win, Oscars. So, for example, huge fan of Shawshank Redemption. That didn't win Best Picture. Forrest Gump did. Again, good on Forrest Gump, but that didn't sway my decision in terms of thinking that Shawshank was one of the best movies out there. I shake my head at these categories for the simple fact that when these actresses hit the red carpet, it's all about, hey, who are you wearing? Well, who are you wearing? Who did your hair? Tell us who you're wearing. Give us a spin. And good on them. They look fantastic. But my thing is if I was on the red carpet, my question would be, so Rosamund Pike, exactly what inspired you to go complete dark side in that movie? And do you not agree that it was probably one of the best roles you've ever done? Or Reese Witherspoon. So when you were walking in Cheryl Strayed's shoes, what sort of process did you use? Because at the end of the day, I go to the movies because I enjoy them, not because I want to see them at the end of the day and say, what are you wearing? Or who are you wearing? But anyways, tangent over. That's just me. Can we talk about lead actor? Can we do that? All right. Your nominees for lead actor are Steve Carell for Foxcatcher, Bradley Cooper for American Sniper, Benedict Cumberbatch for The Imitation Game, Michael Keaton for Birdman, and Eddie Redmayne for The Theory of Everything. So, right off the bat, I'm thinking to myself, 2 names that aren't on this list: David Oyelowo for Selma and Jake Gyllenhaal for Nightcrawler. I'll start with Jake Gyllenhaal. Fantastic job, completely creepy as the guy he wanted to get into, the late breaking story news in Nightcrawler. And David Oyelowo, just fantastic performance as Martin Luther King in Selma. I look at this list, and the 2 names that pop up to me are Steve Carell. Steve Carell should have been nominated for an Oscar last year for The Way Back, and it's sad that he wasn't. I don't know if we're trying to make up for lost time with this nomination for Foxcatcher, and I have nothing against Steve Carell, but I don't get it. If you see my opinion of the movie, and if you see it, tell me what you think. I just find it completely overrated. And as far as Benedict Cumberbatch is concerned, I know I'm going to piss off a lot of ladies by coming and saying something about their Benny, and I think he's a good actor. I think he's a great photobomb artist. But again, there was nothing about this role that made me say, oh my God, the way David Oyelowo in Selma did, or the way Jake Gyllenhaal did in Nightcrawler. So to me, those were 2 huge snubs. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, because I think the award is going to be going to either Michael Keaton or Eddie Redmayne. I don't necessarily know if it would have made a huge difference with the other 2 actors in it. With the momentum that Keaton and Redmayne have right now, I think it's going to be theirs to lose, but we'll see. All I know is if they call out Steve Carell's name on Oscar night, I'll be shaking my head. And again, I like Steve Carell, just didn't like him that much in this. Best Picture. All right, so your nominees for Best Picture are American Sniper, Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance, Boyhood, The Grand Budapest Hotel, The Imitation Game, Selma, The Theory of Everything, and Whiplash. So let's go through this. Whiplash, so happy to see that this movie got nominated for Best Picture. Saw it about 3 times in 1 week in the theater, not because I was bored, but because it was an absolutely stunning, fantastic movie. Theory of Everything I haven't seen yet. That's the only Best Picture nominee I haven't seen, so I'll reserve comment. I think Selma was fantastic. Again, I feel so bad for Ava DuVernay. She should have been nominated. She was completely robbed, and I don't necessarily know what its chances are of winning Best Pictures just because it wasn't nominated in so many of the other categories. The Imitation Game, again, one of those movies that was good. See, there's a good movie, and then there's like Best Picture good, and I don't think that Imitation Game was Best Picture good. Grand Budapest Hotel, quirky, fun movie. Might be a little too quirky for Academy voters. We'll see. Boyhood, such a great movie. A lot is being made about the fact that it took 12 years to film, but once you get past that, it's still a great movie. Remember a few years ago when The Artist won Best Picture and it was the silent film, and everyone's like, oh wow, it was a silent film. Well, for me, once you got past the fact that it was a silent film, it was nothing that special. Boyhood is still special. Regardless of the fact that it took 12 years to make or not, it was a great movie. Birdman, mesmerizing. Iñárritu did such a fantastic job with this movie. You're watching the opening scene as it goes on and on and on, and then you realize you're watching one take. The acting in it was fantastic. The editing was phenomenal. I really enjoyed Birdman. American Sniper, which I just had the opportunity of seeing. I think Clint Eastwood did a fantastic job with that, and I think it's one of Bradley Cooper's best roles to date. Now, taking a look at this, though, I think to myself, a couple of snubs in the Best Picture category. Interstellar. Not my favorite movie of the year, not by far, but I do respect the fact that there was the cinematography and the sound, and you just felt like you were at a motion picture event when you saw Interstellar. And I look at that movie and I think to myself, how is this not even in the conversation for Best Picture? Again, I look at movies like Imitation Game and I think to myself, I don't get it. Gone Girl. David Fincher did such a phenomenal movie bringing Gillian Flynn's book to life. Absolutely love that movie. And the fact that it's not on the list, again, I don't get it. Nightcrawler's another movie I would have put in for Best Picture. I think, again, even beyond Jake Gyllenhaal's performance, the entire ensemble did a fantastic job. And if you want to go off script a little bit, why didn't we see Guardians of the Galaxy in this conversation? I don't think I've seen anybody or talked to anybody who didn't absolutely love Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm somewhat disappointed that it didn't get a nomination for Best Picture. Anyways, so with what we've got here, again, my early thought is that it would be Boyhood. I think there's other great movies here. You've got American Sniper, which of course tugs on the patriotic strings. You've got The Theory of Everything, which is a very sweet movie. But there's so much momentum and there's so much hype around Boyhood. I think it's going to be a tough movie to beat. If Selma had come into this with more nominations, I think Selma would have had a very good chance of upsetting. But this is my thought process on January 15th. As we come closer to February 22nd, and I do my full Oscar blog, my opinion might change, but this is my initial reaction. I'm interested to know what your reaction is. Who do you think should be winning these awards? Who do you think should have been nominated? What movies are you interested in seeing, and what movies are coming out that you want to talk about that are coming up that might have anything to do with this? Feel free to reach out to me, CFL_fan on Twitter, Facebook.com/WittyWhittier and WittyWhittier.com. As we come closer to the Oscars, again, every single major movie will be reviewed and will be put on the Oscar site, on the Oscar page on my website. So please feel free to check that out. I'll also have predictions on all the major acting awards as well as the technical awards as well, so you can absolutely crush your work office pool. So feel free to drop me a line if you've got any questions. I'd love to hear from you. Again, thank you so much for checking out this blog. And I again want to finish off, I do want to finish off by saying again that the Oscars are fun. It's good to see them. It's good to watch them. You all have your favorite movies that came out this year. I'd love to hear what they are. I'll tell you what mine are pretty soon. That'll be another blog. And until then, thank you so much for checking this out, and I'll see you at the movies.